Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to be once again taking the focus a little bit back from Celtic, and we're going to focus on the Scottish national team. As you've already seen by the title of this video, you know what you're coming here to watch, but I feel like this is a video that has some form of relevancy to it at the minute because of the news that has came out over the past few weeks surrounding the Scottish national team, not just with the main news of the new manager being brought in, Alex McLeish, which I've already gave my opinions on. If you want to see my opinions on the appointment of Alex McLeish, the video link will be in the description below. But there's been other news, and mostly surrounding squad news. Obviously, we've seen the big departure and the retirement of Scott Brown, leaving Scotland, leaving the captaincy role to retire from international football and focus solely on his club career at Celtic. But also we heard some good news the other day for the likes of Scott McTominay, who has selected to play for Scotland. So one out, one in that central midfield position. And it got me thinking, you know, what is the best starting 11 right now for Scotland? Now, we have been held back a lot in recent times by poor team selection. At the end of the day, that has been mostly what has cost us from qualifying or even getting close to qualifying for major tournaments, because the team selection has been all wrong. Not just the starting 11, the whole 25-man squad or whatever. But our starting 11 is going to be interesting to see over the coming months in these friendly matches and later for the qualifyings for Euro 2020 when we get to the end of the year. So it'll be very interesting to see, but Alex McLeish, will he pick the right team? That is the question. Now I'm going to make this video and talk about the 11 players who would be in my Scotland starting 11 if I was the manager. If I was Alex McLeish sitting down picking my team, this is the squad I'd go for. So here we go. I'm going to start obviously from the back, make my way to the front, and we'll see what my right now, perfect Scotland starting 11 would be. So in goals, there's a couple of options in there. The first ones coming to mind are Craig Gordon, Jordan Archer, who's getting a shout out, and Joe McLaughlin. Is it John Joe? I don't know. McLaughlin from Hearts, who has had a pretty decent season. They're the three names that automatically come to mind. A lot of people giving outside shouts for Jordan Archer playing down south for Millwall, but for me right now at this minute, obviously not right now because he's injured, but for future matches till the end of this year at least, for me the number one spot still goes to Craig Gordon, and I'm going to try my best to take the Celtic bias away from this video. Also David Marshall's a shout as well, forgot to bring him up, but I feel like he has not been at the best of his form in his career recently, so I wouldn't pick David Marshall. I'm automatically ruling him out. But Jordan Archer's a man who gets a lot of shouts to be given a go in the Scotland team, but for me right now I think Craig Gordon is still a fantastic shot stopper. Yes, he has a few mistakes in him with the ball at his feet, he's not the greatest at distribution, but there is not many better at actually stopping shots. He's a fantastic goalkeeper, fantastic reflexes, fantastic with his one-on-ones. He is still a strong keeper, and right now is probably the most experienced and the best fit right now for Scotland. And between the sticks, he's the man who I'd still go for. He still is a little bit prone to mistake, and he is suffering with this injury now, so this could change very, very quickly. But if I was to sit down right now and pick a keeper, I'd be sticking with Craig Gordon. Now, the fullbacks by far are the easiest positions in the team to pick. There is no doubt about it in any Scotland fan's mind who it should be. There is not many great options apart from the main two. Knowing Alex McLeish, he'll end up picking Alan Hutton somehow. Somehow Alan Hutton will end up getting back into the team, or Phil Bardsley. It would not surprise me. We need to get out of that mindset, the mindset of picking the players from down south, and focus on these players who are doing well domestically within our country. Give those guys a shout. But my hair's going all over the fucking place. But the two for me are very easy, and it's the easiest choices within the team. Kieran Tierney, Andrew Robertson. Kieran Tierney walked into the Scotland team and has shown the great versatility. Fuck me, man. For a man his age, has shown the versatility that he can play right back, not just his natural position of left back, but he can step out of his comfort zone and go into that right hand side, and he's done a fantastic job for Gordon Strachan, and he's just been great at Celtic. He's already captained his country, and we're looking at the future captain in Kieran Tierney there, so he is a definite for the team, along with Andrew Robertson, who has been fantastic down in the Premier League for Liverpool, finally getting his chances in the Liverpool first team, which are rightfully deserved. I highly rate Andrew Robertson, and many a time after Scotland games I'm left saying to myself, I think Robertson was the best player in the park, because a lot of the time he's a fantastic player with a lot to his game, and those two without a doubt are the full-backs for the Scotland team, and always will be for the next few years, unless someone really does come up and challenge them on either side. There's really no players right now that you could even think about overtaking those two, because they are just so good, and both of them incredibly young, massive potential, big players, and very important to the Scotland setup. Now, going from the easiest positions on to by far the hardest positions, because Not hardest because of the amount of options, but how little options we've got. Scotland have lacked quality centre-halves for so long now. We have lacked good players in this position, and ultimately our defence has been part of the downfall. Because of the lack of good centre-halves. The same names that will come up that you'll hear everywhere. Russell Martin, Christophe Berra, Charlie Mulgrew. I think all three of them should maybe step aside. Christophe Berra is the only one there I think that has a legitimate shout at the minute. Russell Martin might be, he's starting to revitalise his career a little bit at Rangers, so who knows, maybe in a year or so's time I would bring him back into the Scotland team, but I don't think he was great at Norwich, and that was showing the times he played for Scotland. I would not pick Russell Martin. Christophe Berra's had a fantastic season at Hearts, but he's getting older. Maybe he adds that experience, though. I wouldn't mind it if he was selected over the next year. But the two that I would go for, and it's certainly not Charlie Mulgrew, I just don't think, and as much as I loved him, I just don't think he is the right fit anymore. I think he's too attacking-minded for a centre-back. He's used to coming out centre-mid role even a lot of the time for Blackburn. So I wouldn't pick Charlie Mulgrew. For me, I'm going to actually go with Ross McCrory, which you may find surprising, but Kieran Tierney. But Kieran Tierney was gifted that opportunity at such a young age to step into the Scotland team, and he proved to be fantastic. So I have no doubt in my mind that maybe even Ross McCrory could do it, because there's no denying that he is a good player, and hopefully he would be good in the Scotland setup. But alongside him, I would also be going for youth, and I'd be going for John Souttar. Hearts have had a fantastic season at the back. Christophe Berra and him have been a fantastic partnership, and that's why I wouldn't mind if Berra was selected over the next year. But these two young guys can really be the future partnership at the back for Scotland if they are played in the right way. And they bring what they offer to their clubs, to their nation, which I have faith they could do. So right now I would pick those two, because what's coming up soon is friendlies. Why not test it out a little bit? These aren't life or death scenarios. So those two maybe do deserve a chance, and I would like to see them get that chance. As much as I don't really like Ross McCrory because he's a Rangers player, I will admit that he does probably deserve a chance for how he's played at Rangers. And who knows, he could surprise us. And John Souttar, I think, is someone who's maybe deserved a chance for a little while now, and now is a time for him to step in under a new manager and maybe show us what he's got. I think that would be a good centre-half partnership. Berra is probably the third choice there, but if I was to pick two, it's Souttar and McCrory. Now onto the three centre-mids, and hopefully under Art McLeish it spells the end of an era for the bygone centre-mids of the Scottish national team. I still have slight suspicions that Art McLeish is going to want to pick players along the lines of Charlie Adam, Darren Fletcher, Barry Bannon, James MacArthur. All these players have to be swept aside. We need to move on. They offer nothing to the Scotland team. They offer no creativity. They offer nothing. Back in the day, Darren Fletcher was superb, an incredibly underrated player at Man United. He was fantastic, but now he can't get into the Scotland team. It's just not what we need. We need creativity. We need good players. Now, the first name on the team sheet has got to be Scott McTominay, I think. It genuinely has to be now. This is a guy who is starting knockout games for Manchester United in the Champions League. Is starting week in, week out at the Premier League, playing at a very good level. For the biggest team in England and one of the biggest teams in the world. And if that doesn't cry out first name in the team sheet, I don't know what does. He's still very young, yes, but let's get him into that team. Let's get him used to being part of the integral players that we need in the Scotland squad. Give him that role, and I think he'll thrive. He is going to be fantastic, stepping into where Brown should be. Obviously, Brown retiring, I think McTominay's a fantastic replacement, and we can really benefit with him picking Scotland as the national team. I'm looking forward to seeing him in a Scotland shirt. Very, very excited. And for me, he has to be one of the first names in the team sheet. There's other players who are given shouts. Ryan Jack, a lot of Rangers fans cry for. I'm not a massive fan of. Will admit he's slightly decent. Very overrated, I would say, from Rangers fans, but I wouldn't give it to him. Someone who I rate very highly, and John McGinn, I wouldn't give it to him either, but maybe in the future, yes, these are two guys who do come in. But right now, for quality, I think the two best players to partner alongside McTominay in this 4-3-3 system that I'm going to pick would be Stuart Armstrong and Cal McGregor. Yes, I said I want to turn away from the biased side of me going to Celtic players, but right now, those two are the best options in those centre-mid positions. Callum McGregor is a player who this season has been fantastic, has showed how good he could be, not at just domestic level, European levels, in the Champions League, getting goals against Bayern Munich and such, and in the Europa League, getting the big goal against Zenit St Petersburg in the first leg. He is a very important player, a very creative player, and I think he would offer a lot to the Scotland team and would go well with McTominay. Armstrong, once again, he's a very hot and cold player. Has been disappointing in the Scotland team sometimes, but been very good in the Scotland team sometimes. Very, very similar to how he's been with his Celtic career. Disappointing, but amazed at points. But at the end of the day, if you're going for quality, if you're going for a player, I think Stuart Armstrong should be directly in that team. Even after his debut, his first game for Scotland, Gordon Strachan came out and said it's one of the best Scotland debuts he's ever seen because he was that good. And I'm trying not to be biased, but ultimately I think those two players are better than the likes of McGinn and Ryan Jack. and they should be the ones getting a place in the Scotland national team. They've been playing well for Celtic. Armstrong still recovering from injury, I suppose, but those two would be the two I'd partner alongside Scott McTominay, and I think that would make a very good, very creative midfield three, which is what we've lacked. We've lacked creativity. The likes of Barry Bannon, James McArthur have been the kind of players to get the ball, pass it backwards and such. We need players who are going to offer a little bit of attacking flair, but you know, in McTominay we've got a little bit of a defensive player as well, so I think we've got that security, but we've also got the attacking prowess that the Scotland team ultimately needs. And on to the final three, the front three. I think on the right wing there's no really discussion after his performances this season. It's got to be James Forrest. He is ultimately at the end of the season going to be up for Player of the Year and all those sorts of awards because he's been that good. He's been Celtic's standout player this season the majority of the time, and has incredibly stepped up his game. And that's me not being biased, because at the start of the year he was a player who I didn't like, and I didn't want to see him continue at Celtic because I feel like he had enough time, he had the time to prove himself, and he just ultimately didn't do it, and he was too inconsistent a player. But if he can translate his performances from this season under Celtic to the Scotland national team, we have got a real quality player on the right hand side for the upcoming games, and something we need, something that little bit of pace, that little bit of skill on the right hand side. He can offer that because he's been great for Celtic this year, domestically and in European games as well. I think he's been fantastic, and I would love to see him get a chance in the Scotland team. And really there's no other discussion on that right hand side for me. Up front, no discussion, it's not Jason Cummins. Rangers fans might shout for Jason Cummins. No, it's not Jason Cummins, not yet anyway. I just do not think he can come close to the option it should be, and we all know who it should be. Chris Martin, nowhere near the squad. Stephen Fletcher, nowhere near the squad. Ultimately, they are not the right fits. Well, don't want to live in the era where we're hitting balls over the top, just hoping for headers. The striker has got to be Lee Griffiths. No doubt about it. I don't even need to explain. There's no really any other. We've not got a lot of depth in that position. Ross McCormack, no. Not at all. It's got to be Lee Griffiths. It's him or no one else. And that's who would be ultimately up front. Goal scorer, clinical, very passionate and a hard worker is exactly what we need. And with the likes of Armstrong and McGregor behind him, I'd be very confident that we'd have a very attacking wise team that can create chances and finish chances. On the left hand side there's a few options to pop up. You know, Barry Mackay gets shouts, he's been on good form at Nottingham Forest. Akechi Anya, nah. Ultimately, I'm going to go with Matt Ritchie. More of a right-hand-sided player, yes, naturally, but he has been a good player for Newcastle in the Premier League this season, and he's not one of those players who have actually just been bang average or not at all useful to the Premier League team. He's actually been quite a good player for Newcastle and quite important to how they play, and ultimately it would be a good player for Scotland. He didn't decide to play in the last campaign, he wanted to focus on his club career, so hopefully now he's willing to come into the Scotland squad, get a few appearances, and actually help us get somewhere. I think he'd be a good option on that left-hand side, and ultimately it's better than Akechi Anya or so I would like to see that, and I think for me that is a nice attacking lineup, and altogether a nice starting 11, and if I was the manager it'd be the 11 I'm picking. So to quickly recap, Craig Gordon in goals, Tierney, McCrory, Suter and Robertson as the back four. I would have McGregor, McTominay and Armstrong in the middle, and Forrest, Griffiths and Ritchie as my front three. That would be my Scotland team. Now if you've enjoyed, you know what to do. Like and subscribe, all that good stuff. I hope you have enjoyed. Let me know what you would pick as a Scotland starting 11 if you were Alan McLeish picking the Scotland team right now. And obviously rebuttal my points as well if you like. So, I'll see you all next time.